Julie here from Copy What I Use for Teenage Anxiety and Revision. Now, teenage anxiety can be bad enough at the best of times, but during this COVID-19 lockdown situation, what I'm noticing is that more and more teenagers are suffering with anxiety and mental health issues. So I thought I'd actually share a quick video today with you on ways that I've personally found help with my own teenagers who suffer with anxiety. Because for those of you who regularly follow me, and for those of you who don't, I've got two teenagers who've suffered with anxiety in some form or another. My eldest daughter was diagnosed with chronic OCD, which was caused by anxiety, and my younger daughter tends to overthink everything and gets particularly anxious around revision and school time. So I've got a bit of experience on ways to sort of work with helping teenagers to help them with their anxiety and to reduce anxiety, especially at this particularly challenging time. Okay, so what are the best approaches to take when it comes to helping your child with helping them with anxiety? Well, number one is to get them to talk. Now, often this can be the hardest part because teens by their very nature don't like to open up and talk. Now, again, those of you who regularly follow my channel will normally know that the best way I usually find to do this is to either take them out for a coffee or to take them for a run in the car, and I find this works wonders in getting them to open up. Now, obviously, due to the current lockdown situations and the social distancing, that's not an option. So obviously, I've had to improvise now and think of different ways to get them to open up. So the ways that I have done it is either to make a nice coffee and sit out the garden with them. Other times I've gone to watch TV or done some exercise, joined in their exercise with them. Or other times I just sort of sit there casually or when I'm on a walk with them and just bring up things that I find particularly challenging with this lockdown. And then generally they tend to open up. So one of the best things is to first of all get them to open up and try and find a relaxing time where they'll actually ease off and actually confide in you what it is they're finding challenging, and then you can sort of take it from there. Okay, number two is you can create a quiz. I mean, those of you who are on Facebook probably can't fail to notice that everybody, the world and their wife today, seems to be doing quizzes on Zoom, and children can do the same. You can either do it as a family, or they can actually contact their friends by FaceTime or by Messenger or on Zoom. There's plenty of options today. I know it's not quite the same as meeting up, but it's the next best thing. Now, they can do this quiz in a number of ways. They can either do the traditional quiz, general knowledge, or in different sections. Or you can do a picture quiz. Mine are particularly good at picture quizzes. I was surprised how many faces they knew on there. Or they can even do a quiz about themselves and maybe do a true or false section, see how much their friends actually know about them. But either way, the quiz is a fantastic way of sort of causing distraction and a break from mental health and anxiety issues. Number three is one of the things my children in particular, both of them are missing, is going out with friends for a meal. Because let's face it, there is nothing more relaxing and unwinding than to sit in a restaurant having a nice meal and a chat. Now again, due to these social distancing issues that are around at the moment, that's no longer an option. So what I say is try and bring the restaurant to you. Now there are a number of ways you can do this. You can either order in a takeaway, because I've been for a few times for Chinese, and the way that they're doing the social distancing is you actually text them your number and then they text you then when you can come out your car and just collect it, and then they keep their distance as you collect it from them. Others are doing delivery services. I know we've had pizzas delivered and just left on the car bonnet because you pay for them up front. Or you can actually buy a takeaway from a supermarket and make your own. Or you can get really adventurous and you can create your own themed night and create your own meal, and you could maybe decide between you who's going to cook what meal. If Portuguese is your thing, then have a look at some Portuguese recipes. Same goes for Indian, or if you like a Brazilian meal, like mine love eating in a Brazilian restaurant in Cardiff, just cook a Brazilian, look for some Brazilian menus. I've put a link at the bottom to an affiliate link that I've got there that'll show you some menu recipe books for suggestions of just a quick food that I found, just to show you how easy it is to bring the ambience and the atmosphere into your own home. And what they could do then, if they're missing the social side, is they could then FaceTime their friends and get them to do the same, and then just all watch as each other, eats their meals and just join in a bit of social side as well. So that's number three, is to create a restaurant in your own home. Another add-on to this is another thing I saw on Facebook recently was a lady who was due to have celebrated her 40th birthday in the Ritz having afternoon tea. Now obviously it was very disappointing, but obviously they found a positive to a negative. What the children did, they created their own afternoon tea for her instead in the home, which I bet was really, really nice. And again, if you weren't in a lockdown situation or in this COVID-19 situation, how many of us would have our children making an afternoon tea for us? So I thought that was quite a sweet thought. So again, I'll pop a link at the bottom for one I found, which was called something like an afternoon tea fit for a queen, and that looked quite nice recipes in there. So that's another option for you. Number 4 is to write it down. Now, something lovely happened the other day. We got a letter through the post, which in itself is quite unusual these days because it wasn't the usual bill. It was a letter for my daughter, and it had been sent from her best friend. And she'd actually put down all the things that my daughter had helped her with, and how she was helping her with lockdown, and how much she had helped her through her school days when she was going through some difficult periods. And she put in writing how much it meant to have her friendship, and I thought that was such a lovely thing to do. And it reminded me of a book I once read, which is called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it was a brilliant book, very small little chapters of advice on how not to get so worked up about little things and let it sort of impact on your day. And funny enough, one of the sections was to actually write a letter to somebody you love once a week. So I don't know, I might be wrong, but I'm just wondering whether she might have found that tip in that book. Again, I'll pop a link at the bottom because it's a lovely book. It's only a small little book, but it's packed with really fun and interesting tips to help you, as they say, not sweat the small stuff. Okay, so that's number 4. And then finally then is to create an anxiety box or a sensory box. Now, I actually did a video on this a few days ago showing you items you could put in a sensory box, because this again was a tip passed to us by a medical professional when my daughter was ill with her OCD, because they said putting items that actually appeal to the senses is a fantastic way of reducing anxiety. So I think that it would probably be just as ideal during these times, because I say all I'm hearing from my daughters is how many friends are finding these times particularly challenging. So I thought I'll put a link as well to how to create an anxiety or a sensory box. And then when your child is feeling a bit anxious, or you for that matter, you can just take one of the items out there and just focus on that moment of something you enjoy by smelling something nice, tasting something nice, feeling something nice, looking at something nice. It could even be a little photograph that it just makes you smile. But it is very powerful in helping you to reduce teenage anxiety, particularly this challenging time. Oh, and another thing I forgot to say, we're writing down as well, another tip we picked off a hypnotherapist actually, was she said something that's fantastic as well for reducing teenage anxiety is to actually write down 3 things in a journal every single day that actually makes them, that's been nice and makes them feel better. Now, if your teen's anything like my teen, the first thing she said, well, nothing good's happened today. In which case you get them to think of anything positive they can put in there, because it doesn't matter if you even make it up, because apparently it will still trick the brain into thinking more positively and more happily, and it's great for helping teens with anxiety. So an example could be you could get them to write down the sun shone, or I played with a dog, or I had my favourite pizza for tea. It doesn't matter what it is, but just get them to write 3 things down every single day that have actually made them happy. And again, that is a powerful way apparently of actually tricking the brain to thinking happy thoughts instead of sad thoughts. Okay, so that's my 5 tips today for helping your teenagers with anxiety, particularly during this COVID-19 lockdown. Because let's be honest, it's challenging enough for us parents, so I can only imagine what it's like for teenagers who can't sort of get their heads around it. Hope you found it useful. Again, I've popped some useful links at the bottom. Feel free to click at them. Like I said, they are affiliate links, other than the video one, so there is a chance I could get paid a commission, but rest assured you won't pay any more for it. It'll get paid to me direct by the product owner should you decide to purchase any. But I just put them on there because I thought they were quick tips for you, and ones that I actually researched and found, but feel free to look for your own as well. Alright, so that's it for today's video. I'll be posting quite regularly now on this topic, so make sure you've subscribed if you haven't already done so to my channel, and check out those links, see if anything appeals to you. That's it for today. Bye for now.